Hey, ouch, sorry. So, with regards to Liam's funeral, I don't think that fans have the right to tell Liam's family what kind of funeral Liam should have. Whether they want to have a public funeral where it's open to the public for the service, but private in the church, kind of like what they did with Stephen Gately, where they had the speakers outside the church that played, or not played, but that had the service being shared with the fans who were outside. And then afterwards they had a private burial. And that was lovely because the fans got to go, they lined the streets, they threw roses. It's a very common thing in the UK for a public figure that dies. You know, when the Queen died, when Princess Diana died, when Stephen Gately died, there's an aspect of the public being involved because they were beloved figures in the public eye. Even when some politicians die, they do a public memorial and a private burial. It's up to Liam's family to decide if they're comfortable with that. If they decide to have a completely private service and a completely private burial, then that's entirely fine, and the fans will respect that, or they should respect it. Any fan who doesn't respect that is awful. However, it's really bugging me seeing all these posts about, oh, you know, no fans should attend, no, you know, that's for Liam's loved ones. And you're right, it is. But Liam was loved by the fans as well. So it's up to his family and his loved ones to decide the kind of send-off they want him to have. If they want it to be completely private, then that's absolutely fine and it's understandable. But if they don't, then you don't get to tell people that they are not allowed to go. You know, it's one of these things that there's no right or wrong for it. Like, people want to say goodbye to Liam because he was very loved. But on the other hand, you know, he shared a lot of his life in public. Like, a lot, since he was 16, his life was public for the public vultures to pick apart. And I don't feel like anyone has the right to tell his family what they should or shouldn't do at this time. If they decide to have a public memorial and then a private funeral afterwards, then that's entirely up to them. And that should be respected. And the press should absolutely respect that. Because I remember with Stephen Gately, that was something that really struck me, was that there weren't any pictures, the crematorium afterwards, or the burial. I don't actually know if Stephen was cremated or buried. I can't remember. I think he was buried, but that was private. So the press were there for the public part and the fans were there for the public part, but then the private part was the part where no one was. It was just for the close family and friends. And I think that was a very good way of balancing that, where it was a public goodbye and then a private goodbye for the people who were the closest. But I'm not saying that Liam's family should or could or want to do that. I'm just saying that to me felt like a good balance, because, you know, the press are going to be there regardless. And there are people who are like, who want to see the pictures of the funeral and the service and whatever. And I feel like this is a way to kind of negate that, kind of, because you're giving them an insight without them being involved or being inside. But yeah, I just don't think that, I really wish people would stop commenting on it, because we don't know what the family's decision is yet. Liam's not even home yet. And whatever his family decide is what should be respected. So let's all just sit down and let Liam's family get their boy back. And when the funeral arrangements are made and when they're made public, then we can then we can discuss what's appropriate and what's not. It's not for anyone else to decide that. And that's all I'm going to say on it. Okay, thanks, bye.